Welcome to the OVAReact podcast. We are live at What Women Want 3.0 right here at Trademark. And we are enjoying conversation with amazing women. And tonight, or now, we have the amazing Janet, the change maker, the woman who showed us how it's done. We are so privileged to have you, really.
Thank you. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Angie. I think you guys do incredible work, so I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, I mean, for me, I will say, for us, we view you as a living legend. You're someone that has been the voice on the airwaves, on the TV. So many Kenyans are familiar with Janet, the brand, Janet Mbugua, the brand. But there are many other things that you do. And you're also here. You were moderating one of the key opening sessions today. So tell us who is Janet and also how you're participating in this year's What Women Want Summit.
Nice. Thank you guys, first of all. I'm also seeing like legends in the making because I feel like you guys are the current sort of like crop of people who are leading in your industry. So thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Janet, somebody asked me that earlier and I was like, it's easier for me to say media personality because that includes hosting, producing. It's officially Janet Mbugua, which is my personal sort of like online brand. Hosting, Fixing the Nation on NTV, which is TV and radio. And then I just decided to throw in Cash Money on Netflix in there, which I know a lot of people have just been like, my friends were like, what?
I love that, getting to see the creative side of you.
So I think I use all these platforms to communicate, and a lot of the roles are tied to social impact, women's empowerment, and I think just the collective role we have. So even for the series, Cash Money was it was a governor, and that's what sold me on it. I'm like, to play a governor, okay. Otherwise, I wasn't convinced. I'm like, what am I doing on set with acting legends? And then with the show and my platform, there's a common thread there of conversations that matter and the roles that we play. And I'm a mummy to two amazing boys as well. And founder of Inua Dada. Wow, Janet. So media personality, founder, and mum.
Amazing. So we'll find you where the change needs to be done and where change needs to be triggered. So what does such a summit or platform means to you? Seeing like hundreds of women in the same room advancing progressive conversations. What does it do to your heart?
Oh God, I love spaces like this. You could already see me. And I've been part of What Women Want Summit from the very beginning with Pinky. Pinky's a really good friend. Somebody who we've been in the industry together and we kind of understand that. And I was telling her just now, I'm like, do you realize what you're doing? This is a movement. Like it's a proper movement. And I think what's great about it is how it's categorized into so many subject matters. So it always makes me happy because I think women wake up to try and glean on ways that they can shift their perspectives and improve their lives and access services and information that will help them. I feel like women are always curious and always want to learn. Men do it as well, differently, but I think what's unique with how women come together is we almost come with an open mind and an ability to be like, I just want to see what I can get from this session and then how I can apply it in my life. So I love this summit and it's just gotten so big. I'm really proud of everything that What Women Want team is doing, what Pinky's doing, and I'm happy to be part of the movement.
Lovely. Like you said, we are a 3.0 edition and it keeps getting bigger, better, and bolder. So there was a panel discussion you were hosting called Dada Culture. Just tell us about the essence of Dada Culture and what are like 3 big nuggets that you want other women out there to know about Dada Culture?
Oh, that's a good one. I should have been processing the nuggets that I just heard from my panel. Dada Culture is a conversation that kind of speaks to how the women that are shifting culture and conversations in the country, in the region, globally. I feel like there's a lot of messages that women are thrown at women, and a lot of the times people don't feel like they have permission to lean into who they really are because the world is telling you something different.
Right.
The world is telling you can't be an entertainer, that's a side job. You can't be a podcaster because what does that even mean? And you can't balance that with motherhood because then you're a bad mom if you're doing one over the other. I found myself on the receiving end of all of those perceptions, but I just kept telling myself, you're doing this because you know it's important, and this is how you're trying to balance. The hate will come, the vitriol will come, but you're following your true north. And then I wanted to collaborate with other women who are setting that example, because there's also an unhealthy sort of like hypersexualized culture that's being encouraged, what that does is you find a lot of younger women might say, if I'm not part of that culture, am I even on trend, or can I get along with my peers or can I even date when maybe this is the aesthetic that makes sense? It's like, no. So I want to show you an example of women who are just shifting culture in a way that can make you see yourself differently. So I had Lydia KM, Angela Waweru, and Muthoni, drama queen. The nuggets were interesting. Angela said, bare minimum, you just really have to start by seeing yourself naked. Who are you naked and who are you with your clothes on? Which I think was brilliant. So who are you when you sit with yourself? And does it translate to who you are when you're out there? If you can reconcile who you truly are, it really forms the grounds within which you can move. Muthoni said something similar. She said, because I asked her, you've really evolved, right? You're an activist. She was like, no, I'm an active citizen. I don't necessarily like the activist brand. But she said, I'm a creator. And even when I was young, I was always in music and listening and loving music. So even as I was getting all the barriers as I was growing, now you're getting a job, you're in the job market. Oh, that music thing should be a thing on the side. Now you're a mom, whatever it is. She said, no. I was always like, what is the thing within me that I create that never ends, even when everything around me is changing? That's what I'm going to keep. And even when the world around me is changing and shifting, those are not truths. Like you coming and telling me because I'm a woman, ABCD, that's your perception. My perception is the truth and the joy I get from what I do. And then Lydia said, her living her life as a 30-something-year-old who isn't, in a marriage and with a child, is giving permission to other women to say, I don't really have a timeline. And therefore, I'm living that not because I'm forcing issues, but because who I am speaks to what other women can be. So I know those are more sentences than nuggets, but it was very fulfilling, and it achieved what I hope that a culture can continue to achieve, which is you can hold multiple truths as a person, as a woman, and you don't have to be defined by what people say, even though it affects you. You can have a conversation with that shame and with that anger, and then don't carry it everywhere. Have a conversation with it, say, chill. I'll come back and I'll talk to you soon. I've heard what you have to say right now. I'm going to go out there, do my thing, and keep coming back. And that's what I'm finding myself doing with the things that keep coming back, like shame. Just like, why are you here?
That's powerful.
Very, very powerful.
I think it goes to one of our guests earlier was talking about the power of pivoting.
Yes.
And I think the data culture does that. It allows women to pivot.
Yes.
And I think while you were talking, I was thinking about, the essence of sisterhood, the essence of womanhood. And someone else said, men thrive in their own habitat. Like that's their natural habitat. So I feel like the culture that you're creating is to allow us as women to thrive in our own natural habitat.
That's so profound.
Because this society has really pushed us as women. We are emasculated, if you're a single mom, you're castigated by the society. If you're handling too much, you're a powerhouse. Still the society feels like, you're still denying us something here. Like you're not full on woman.
It's never enough.
It's never enough.
And no matter what you do, it's never enough. And it's kind of getting worse. And that a culture for me is recognizing that there's a lot of vitriol and misogyny against women now, probably more than before, or it's amplified now more.
Yes.
And I kind of just want women to have permission to say, as long as I lean into my passion, I know it'll come with persecution. So how do I navigate persecution, and what are my coping tools? Because persecution comes when you're chasing your passion. I'm
Absolutely.
sure the two of you can speak to that. Like when I chose my dream, there was some form of persecution, either from friends, family, or community. And you guys have managed to navigate it, or you continue to, but not a lot of people give themselves that permission. So the other culture is like, you have permission to recognize that you will be persecuted simply because you're a woman. But you have permission to learn how to navigate that with certain tools and through the voices of those who have really continued to navigate and push through.
That's beautiful. Very, very powerful. One comment that I keep hearing is like living limitlessly, like having no boundaries in how you define yourself. How do you continue to walk in your authentic self? What is it that you do to kind of... of course, society will have this self-fulfilling prophecy. This is who Janet should be. What is that one thing you do to continue to walk in your authentic voice?
That's a really good question. I think one of the things I had to ask myself is, what do I love and what's sustainable? Because for me, my bandwidth is always, I'm like, I've really stretched myself over the years and I've loved it. But the more I go along, the more I've given myself permission to say who I am to somebody might be, oh, this is who Janet is and what she does. But I'm also giving myself permission to step back when I need to, pour into myself in a way that may not make sense to somebody else, because I do have to sustain my bandwidth as somebody who is passionate about issues in this country and in the world. Also to sustain my bandwidth to raise my kids and to still find room to thrive in all that. And I realized I just cannot continue to stretch things. So I live in my authenticity because I say, that's what people think. What do I think? What do I believe? What do I know? And how can I find, if I need to, a middle ground while still really protecting my bandwidth and my truth and my strength? That's what's allowed me, and that's what allows me to keep moving in the world. I'm just like, now I'm like, I don't have to be at every single thing, or it's okay for me to pour into myself and to take time out if I need to take time out. And that's something that's more and more really informing the decisions I make.
Amazing. Off air, we were talking about the first time I heard you talk about intentional transition. I think that was 2023, and seeing you live in your transition, but also when you're talking about, the years you've given to the grind. Yet when you look back, you're like, what facets of Janet am I seeing in the grind? Or how much of me did I remove in that, rat race, trying to prove for the society? I feel like the Dada culture has the potential to give us that pause, to reflect on, is it worth it? You don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to spread yourself thin, which is amazing. It sort of gave me validation, because this year when I was starting, I was like, I am starting to do things that shift power back to me.
I love that.
Oh, that's really powerful.
Reclaim your power.
Reclaim your power.
Yeah. Like, if it doesn't shift power back to me, it doesn't need to exist in my life.
And it's so important that you've come to that recognition, because some might deem that as selfish. And I think those are the narratives that women have been fed, is like, what do you mean pouring into me and wellness? And I'm like, how else do you want me to exist? So we're kind of forced to wear many hats, and we feel the pressure to carry all of them. I've reached a point where I'm just like, no, I'm good with not. I remember many years ago, I asked somebody who was quite an influential woman, how do you do it all? And she says, no, you can have everything you want, just not at the same time. And that helped me. I was just like, from that was like 5-6 years ago, even longer. I think it was 8 years ago. You can have everything you want, should you so wish, everything you want. You just don't have to have it at the same time. So it gives you time to pace yourself. Society feeds us this viral factor of, you have to be an overnight, you have to constantly have 1,000,001 likes. I'm like, why?
Everything is on demand.
Everything is on demand. It's like, once we take that load off and say, have I woken up today and walked in my purpose? Yeah, okay, I have. Have I chosen today to pour into myself? Have I chosen today to root myself back in my faith? I think all of those things add up to build who you are. And every day doesn't need to look the same. You don't always have to be on. Which I have to tell myself, sis, you don't always have to be on. So I'm firmly in my era of, you don't always have to be on. When you are, give it your best. And when you're not, choose how to separate when you can pour into yourself and pour into others around you. And that's giving me a balance and perspective that I haven't had before, because life experience.
That's beautiful.
Something else that's coming up in the conversation is the issue of faith. You talked about faith.
Yes.
Like, what's your anchor? Like, where do you go back to draw your center?
Wow, that's powerful. I think I'm in my book of Lamentations right now, in terms of, I'm questioning, I'm in that faith place where I'm rooted in God and faith. And that right now I'm trying to reconcile certain things I've been through and asking, like, where were you? Where are you? Which a lot of people tell me that's very normal. So it helps, and I've got sort of spiritual people in my life who are like, that's why there's an entire book where people were ranting. So that helps me, because I do believe I'm rooted in faith. I'm evolving though in faith. So sometimes I don't know how to, I'm like, God, I don't know if I'm your best brand ambassador. So I try not to oversell it, but I also don't want to deny it anymore. I did a video where I said I'm single, sober, celibate, and created a lot of interesting conversations. And I had to admit, like, well, it's rooted in faith. And I don't want to deny that perspective simply because I don't feel like I'm the most ideal faith person. But that's what grounds me and roots me. and just my grit and my gut. Also, just going back to that from the time I was really young, and a community of people around me, including my kids, who just remind me what's important and why. Those are really that's really where I draw strength from. I think, So,
Faith, community,
again.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're hearing a theme.
Exactly.
Yeah. Faith, community, checking in a walk.
And having those people that keep you grounded, that remind you to feel.
Oh, I love that.
Because I think when we're moving so quickly, we almost become robotic in a way. Because with all this technology is great, but it's like we're just on the go constantly.
Yeah.
So
It forces you to feel like you just have to keep being on the go, but that's not how we're designed at all.
So Janet, before we wrap up, like the summit says, what women want. Simply put, we want to know, what does Janet want?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I even had insights to this question. I still don't know the answer. I think for me, I just want to allow myself to have a healthy relationship with some of the experiences I've had, so that they don't hold me back, but rather they root me in how I continue to become. Because I describe myself as a woman becoming, which means I don't want to definitively say this is what I do, who I am. I'm constantly becoming a better version. So I think for me, what I want is that. Because once I have a healthier relationship, then I can thrive and work better, be a better mom. Because I fully know, like, yes, maybe the shame will keep rearing its head, but we have a new relationship now where we hear each other out, then I put you back in your place. That kind of thing is what I want. And I'm pursuing that relentlessly. But what I want for women is for them to just have permission to hold several truths, that you can be busy, but you can pour into yourself. You can have good days and bad. It just doesn't make you, it doesn't limit you, it doesn't define you. Hold your multiple truths, find a way that they make sense together, and just move. You know, you don't have to be Superwoman.
Amazing.
You don't have to save everybody.
Yeah.
It's your must.
The last time we were on the other side of the mic, you were interviewing us. So we're going to give you 1 minute to ask us something.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you want? And what do you want? Maybe that's what I'll ask. What does Angie want?
Well, Angie wants to live a life that is peaceful and led by love, and really tapping into my inner voice unapologetically. I think sometimes our titles can overshadow us. So literally, I just want to be at the core of who I am and feel liberated in each step that I take.
Oh, that's so profound.
Yeah.
What about you?
Ooh, let me take you to church.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So this is the year. I feel like there's something happening within my own journey, my own life. So in the book of Esther, Esther was prepared for her kingdom and queendom for a whole year. So she was eating the best food, the best perfumes, slow living, taken care of. I'm in that era. I don't have to work. If I don't have to work, I'll be taken care of. Okay. Like, my sustenance is not in my hands.
Yes, queen.
That's why I am.
This is where I was talking to my sister-in-law, who's also called Mo, just yesterday.
No way.
And that's what I'm seeing for myself. Everything you just described, because I was watching Megan Sussex, right?
Yes.
On her show with Love Megan, and I'm just like, I want to, in the near future, as soon as next year, be able to just wake up and make jam. She makes jam, and she was making preserves, and she was putting all these flowers together. And I remember saying with Mo just yesterday, and we were saying, this is where we want to be, and that we don't want to be apologetic about slow living. So
Yes,
so I love
validation
I love
through
what the
Mo's.
two of you have through Mo's.
Yes.
I love what you've said about sometimes our titles. That's very profound. Thank you for that, and thank you for validating that slowly. Can we please not undermine? We don't always have to be on. Let's be like Megan. Harvesting greens. She makes candles. Every time I'm watching an episode, I'm like, oh, Megan, I want to be you.
That's so therapeutic. Just being able to do.
And that kind of slow living, farm living, farmhouse, it's not far-fetched. Like, if anything, we can bring our lifestyle from Nairobi, somewhere in Nyandarua, somewhere in Nanyuki, and just wake up.
And that's
fresh
luxury.
air. It's luxury.
Those small things are luxury.
It's my current fantasy. So I'm not there yet, but I know. I'm like, girl, you know where you want to be.
Yeah, like I just want to be in the middle of the forest.
Yeah.
They know there's a girl with a black car that goes in there, but they don't know what happens there. Yeah.
Wow, Janet, thank you so much.
Thank you,
it's
guys.
been a very wholesome mini podcast.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like it's a whole podcast.
Before
she goes, she needs to tell us what's in her bag.
What's in my bag?
It can be physical or imaginary bag. What do you carry with yourself all the time?
You all just throw these deep questions and expect us to think of our feet.
I'm coming for you,
In my bag, maybe I can say what I always have in my bag. Bag is my AirPods, lip balm, phone charger, gum. Those are just like my go-to body spray. I think, and I try to carry a little something like a booklet, like a affirmations booklet, just a tiny one.
Nice.
That's what's in my emotional bag. Or in my what other bag?
Imaginary. It can be emotional.
Something
it can be
you can't
anything.
leave the day
like
without,
like something that
you carry with
follows
you always.
like a handbag.
I think intentionality and being present is my latest accessory, and not just saying it for fun and using a buzzword. I was just like, man, literally, I just have to be present. In that, I'm present now, and then I'll leave, and wherever I am, I have to be present then. I'm prone to anxiety, and that has really allowed me to just say, you don't have to solve whatever's happening in the next 2 hours. Last week, my whole family and I were down, like we were all sick. Like, it was just a weird, and I had to practice that. I'm like, you're unwell today. You can't even leave your bed. You're that sick. You're on bed rest. So just be present in it. Grieve, cry, whatever, but just be present.
Yes.
And then figure out tomorrow when it comes. That's really helping me, considering I have a lot on my plate. So I would say just being present and intentional, moment by moment, is really, really helping me.
Love
That's the bag.
Amazing. Lastly, I think this is a whole podcast. Remember,
Lastly, 10.
I am done.
Again.
How many I'm done's have brought you where you are right now?
Whoa. Mo and Angie, surely.
Yes, Janet.
How many moments have I'm done? I'm never doing that again. Is that what you mean?
Like how many I'm done's
Yeah.
Those
have
moments,
brought
yes.
you to here? Like the boldest I'm done.
Ooh, I don't know if I can speak to that one.
Okay.
That one was, hey.
It's a safe
That's
place
what
where you
I know.
you're happy to share what that I'm done.
I think I think the biggest one, which was very hard, was leaving a long-term relationship. It was very public. It was very there. But I know that was when I was just like, hey, if you can leave this one because it's not what it's supposed to be, then I think you're starting to form your boundaries. So I would say that was it. It was the biggest, because it's such a big thing, almost 10 years, children in the mix, and then you're saying, I'm not doing this. That's probably the biggest one. I think, it shifted how I saw the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not easy, but necessary. In just like, if you were able to put up that boundary, then you can allow yourself to put other boundaries that don't serve you.
Amazing. There you have it, our overreactors.
Yes, we actually need to have you on another full
I'm
episode
coming.
of
This was
Overreact.
like therapeutic, so thank you guys.
So Janet, thank you so much for overreacting with us. And so of course we have a way that we like to sign out. So we're just gonna say let's, and you're gonna say overreact.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So ladies, let's
Overreact.